and welcome to Dice Jesters. My name is Julie.
And my name is Dave.
And today, Dave and I will be discussing Castles of Burgundy, which is the game that I have been anticipating
For months,
since Season 2 began, because Dave has been really talking it up to me. So.
I almost feel like since the day we met.
You know what? Actually, yeah, because when you first discussed board games with me, you said, I can't wait to someday show you Castles of Burgundy, but there's a few games I want to show you first.
Mm-hmm.
And Dave, why is it that you wanted to show me Castles of Burgundy?
Well, it's one of my favorite games. And as you jokingly have reminded me several times, I've told you that I have a near perfect winning record of this game when it comes to online plays, when it comes to showing the game to family. It's almost gotten boring to the point where when I play it with people, I don't even feel like playing because they have no chance of winning. I don't mean to sound pompous, but I've just played this game so much. And if I'm going to teach this game to somebody, I want to be able to play it a few times where they can get good. Mm-hmm. So I just haven't had many people in my life to really dig into this game with. So I've been excited to show it to you because I think it has a lot of things that you're really going to like. And it's the third game by Stefan Feld in this 10x10 challenge that we're currently doing. And I didn't want this to be the first one that I showed you, even though I knew it would probably, if I'm going to guess, might be your favorite from this 10x10 challenge of his games. So I thought it would lead up to it. Okay. Introduce you to Notre Dame, to Bruges, and then bring you into the land of Castles of Burgundy. But I thought if this was one of the first games I threw down on the table, you might be a little bit less likely to be excited about it, because let's be honest, it doesn't really look particularly inspiring when you look at the board and the artwork and everything. But if I said, hey, this is by the same designer as Notre Dame and Bruges, which you've already loved, here we go, this is another one. So you know it's going to be good right at the bat. So
I feel like I should make the winning piece that goes in our jar as a crown, so then I can always say that I took your crown.
You took the crown
when I beat
me?
you, because I feel very confident.
The grin on your face whenever you talk about this game is a little scary, I'm going to be honest.
Because I have prepared. I know you were jokingly saying, oh, look up strategies, but I intentionally did not look up strategies. I want my win to be raw. Like, I just want it to be, I come in not knowing anything, you teach me the game, and boom, crown belongs to me.
All of my dreams are crushed.
Yes.
You take that crown from me.
I'm excited. And first off, looking at it, if I had to guess how it's played, so you passed me the board, and this is just the recommended starting version side. And I see that there's dice, so we get 2 dice, and then there's dice that are on each color. So I'm getting Sagrada vibes, where because you have the dice tower out.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It's been a while since we've played with this too, right?
Yeah, it's been a while. And I'm guessing we roll the dice, and then let's say I get a 5 and a 3. Then I can pick from this, because there's dice on the board. So I'm guessing I could either pick it, and then with this 3, I can lay it down. That's what I'm guessing.
You're precisely correct.
Well, I feel...
It's as if you've been looking at this game online.
No, I haven't
been playing practice rounds.
It just reminds me of Sagrada.
It's like the pool shark. This is my first time playing the game.
No, this is. Stop. I didn't look it up. I really wanted to, because I wanted the satisfy of the win. I didn't want win because I looked something up. It's just, that's my deduction because of how the board is with the dice on it. And then there's numbers on the scoring board with dice too. And I have a few games under my belt now, Dave.
It's true.
I'm kind of finding similarities between the games. But otherwise, this little area, so there's the playing board that has the dice where you can lay it down, it looks like, and then there's the scoreboard with the dice, but on the playing board to the left, there's a whole bunch of different things. There's this one that has mysteries, there's a ship, there's... Oh, do I get a farm in this game?
You do. Here's your farm.
There's my farm. I want to have goats. Are there goats in this game? It doesn't look
I don't
like
think so.
It looks like in this little picture there's a cow, a pig, a sheep, and a chicken.
There we go. I'm going for the chickens.
I'm going to go for the pretend goat. So that I don't know. That I'll need you to explain to me. And then I don't understand this 1 divided by 1, 2 divided by 3 thing. And this piece of coal. I'm unsure what that is. You're like, yeah. I'm guessing it's not coal based off of the face you made.
It's silver.
It's silver?
It kind of looks like coal, though. I can see that.
And these little barrel things also have little dice images on them, so I'm guessing that you could do something with these too. I don't know what, because I don't really see anything on the board that looks like them, but
Yeah.
So
You are really, really close.
I guess overall, to play the game, my guess would be you take turns rolling die, and then you take turns picking from the scoreboard, and you just want to fill your board as much as possible.
Yeah, no, that's pretty close. I mean, well, it's a game where you're trying to score a lot of points, and I'll be curious how many points we can score in this, because there's so many ways to score. And when I was jokingly referring to his style as point salad games in Notre Dame and Bruges, those are less like that. This game feels, out of the three, most typical of his design, where there's points for this, points for that. So a lot of things in this game will just move you up that point track. But you're right about the dice. And on the way the game works is each turn we roll our 2 dice. And then you'll use both of those dice, each to perform an action, which can be taking tiles from the main board and putting them into your supply, or taking them from your supply and then moving them into your province. And then when you place tiles onto your board, they can either give you bonuses, they can give you endgame scoring, they can give you points, they can give you special ongoing abilities. So that's how you get points throughout the game. And then there's bonuses that you get if you completely fill in a region of a certain color or use tiles of a certain color. You also can get silver, which let you purchase additional tiles from the middle of the board, so you don't need a dice to do that. It's like a free action.
Okay.
And then the thing that I like about the game, and I think you'll appreciate too, is obviously rolling dice is a lot of luck, but you can actually collect these tiles here, which let you mitigate the die rolls by plus or minus 1 die if you use them. And as an action on your turn, you can use a die to get 2 of them. So, you can forfeit an action pretty much to get 2, and then hey, when that turn comes around and I really need that tile, I'll be able to most likely get it, because it flips around from 6 to 1 too. You can mitigate it that way.
It's like a resource game.
It is a resource game.
So I am gonna beat you.
Yeah, probably. And then it also has these good tiles that you can use dice to sell for points and silver as well.
Oh,
so,
that's what the crates are.
Exactly. And this is the old original version of the game. Since this, there have been a couple others, including a deluxe edition that looks really nice. But I've grown to appreciate the simplistic style of this artwork. It's so functional, and I feel completely fine just having this version of the game, honestly.
Okay. I'm so excited that I didn't even make a set, because I've been thinking about just wanting to play this game. So why don't... Well, what am I doing? I'm racing to the first round when I don't even know how player 1's picked.
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
This is so exciting.
Yes.
We both roll a die, and whoever rolls highest gets to be the starting player. So are you ready?
Okay, let's roll the die together.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
3.
I got a 3.
Ooh,
You got a 4. Wow, you're already winning.
Okay.
It's okay you didn't come with a scent. It would have been hard to come with I'm assuming you would have done like the scent of defeat or something like that.
I don't know what I would have came up with it either, because based off of Castles of Burgundy, I don't know. Like a grass, I guess.
Grass.
Well, the cover is very land.
It
has lots of
man staring off into the distance.
Yeah, but there's like hills, there's a castle surrounded by scenery, and clearly now opening up the game, there's farms.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in the land of
grassy.
Burgundy.
So do I get anything for being player 1?
You get 1 of these tiles that let you
cool.
plus or minus, and then I get 2 because I'm the second player.
I see.
So there we go.
The second player gets an advantage.
I'll teach you how to play. We can jump in and play our first round. What do you think?
I am so excited. So let's get into my first round of Castles of Burgundy and then report back. Yes. You know what? It's my first round. So it's my learning round of Castles of Burgundy. And I would say that I held my own. Like, I only lost by 3 points.
That was close. I was actually starting to sweat toward the end.
You were sweating. You were like, what was it that you said when? Because I had these tiles that give you end of game scoring. And you saw that I had one more 4 out of something, and you saw the buildings kind of look all the same because they all have red roofs. So you were a tad worried on if I had more than one of these. Because if I had more than one of the specific building for that end of scoring, I would have won by 1 point.
Probably.
And then I would have taken your crown, and then you went into your cave of solitude.
I would have been so sad.
Yeah, so
because you would have ruined my win record, my win streak.
Oh, it's getting ruined. It may not be now, but it will be because we still have 9 rounds to go.
Yeah, and only losing by 3 points is pretty close. Like, there was a point where I was really far ahead in that track, and then you caught up toward the end. Oh, man.
So, overall, this game's intense. It's pretty intense. I see why it's your favorite, because every move counts. So, it is like Sagrada in a way that I was explaining, where the dice is needed to place. But of course, it's its own. So if you roll a dice, you can pick from the board game, and then you move it to one of the 3 empty spaces. If all 3 spaces are taken, you have to place a tile. You can't just continuously grab tiles to place. So that was interesting, because you had to decide, oh, do I place this tile now? Do I not place this tile? And you needed that die number to show that corresponding number to place the tile from your waiting tile portion. And what struck out to me was that it was slightly like Sagrada, and that's why I caught on so quick. I know they're completely different games, which I get, but
I did not see the similarity, so...
Okay, well, so in Sagrada, you need a 4 of the same color, right, to lay down a 4 of the same color. In this game, you need a 4 to pick from the board game. So since we're playing 2-player game, the 4 spot has the ship or a townhouse or city house, a village house, I guess. And you could pick one of those, or you could lay a 4 down on the board if one of the tiles were already touching. And that's something that we didn't discuss in my first impressions of the game, was we can place this green tile with the castle on it anywhere that there is a green tile to designate where we want to start on the board.
True.
So wherever you want to start, it then stems off of that. And that's like the game in Sagrada. Wherever you put your first piece, you have to stem off of that.
And it'll be interesting as we play, the game has all of these variable setups. So you choose a starting card or a starting province to begin the game. And so you and I will be playing different provinces as we play more of the games in this.
Oh, so the maps are all different?
The maps are all different,
I thought
and challenging in different ways.
I thought those were just more like player mats, because this game's a 4-player game, so I was under the assumption that those were just mats for more players.
For more players? No.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll randomize it every single game.
Okay. So we won't both start with the same playing mat that we did today?
Unless you want to keep playing with this one.
No. You seem to know this one too well.
This was a lot easier, and it's funny because having played this game so much, I almost never play with this starting player mat. But it was interesting to play with it because it seemed really easy to do everything that I wanted to do.
And I don't know the other maps yet, but I like this map because it allowed you to lay in any element minus the farm, because you needed at least either one of the city houses or the ships to be touching a farm mat or a farm tile, and so it gives you more opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So I picked this game for, I already mentioned a number of reasons, but one of the original reasons why I was excited to show you this game after we played Azul, and you seemed to really latch onto the tiling and puzzling things around. Did you see similarities with that game, and do you think that having appreciated Azul made you set up to essentially be guaranteed to like this game?
Huh. I didn't see the connection in Azul. I mean, I understand how you have to match tiles and stuff like that. So if you have the farm tile, you need to match it on the farm slot, or the ship tile to the ship slot.
Well, even down to taking tiles from the board is similar to Azul when you think about it, because in Azul you take turns looking at the tiles and picking a factory where you're going to take tiles from. I know you need dice in this game to do it, but there's almost a race to try to grab the ones that you know that you need, and then you put them onto your board, and then later actually move them onto your board. So I kind of see some similarities myself.
I see.
Maybe not apparent at first.
No, I see where you're coming from for that. Yeah, I see that. I don't know. I apologize, but I keep relating it back to Sagrada. Like, that's the most similar I see it. But I do believe that playing Azul and Sagrada does help with this game, and then maybe a resource game, because, so like San Juan. So Azul, Sagrada, and San Juan, because you only have 2 of the dice to play with. So technically that's 2 turns, but you can optimize your turns by using your resources accordingly. So I think it encompasses a whole bunch of games that you had already showed me. And that's probably why I caught on so quickly, because my brain may not be able to relate it to the games. Like, it might not be able to pinpoint what games, but it does relate to certain games, which gives me the ability to easily learn this one.
I could really see that. So you think if I showed you this game as your first game, you maybe would have been a little confused?
I would have been confused, yeah. I think so.
So definitely for people who have a few games under their belt.
Right. Especially if you're talking about Azul. If we went from Azul to this, I would have looked at you confused.
What's funny is even back then, I was thinking about this game and I was really excited to show this to you. So,
yeah.
So this is the 3rd game by Stefan Feld that you've played. Even just after one play, did you see similarities with Bruges and Notre Dame? And did you see how the design style might have been a little bit different?
To me, I feel like this one's different out of those 2. I don't really see similarities with Notre Dame, but I do see similarities with Bruges in the scoreboard, how there's multiple different things that you're allowed to do on the scoreboard. So it has the border where you keep score, and then within the border there's your game tokens, and that's kind of like in Bruges where it had the scoring points and then your game abilities within it on top of the cards in your hand. So I think in order, I would say that I don't know if this is true or not, but in my mind it does look like he started with Notre Dame, went to Bruges, and then made this.
Actually, Bruges was, out of the 3, the more recent. That was 2013,
really?
And this game came out in 2011.
Oh.
And Notre Dame was 2007.
Maybe he wanted to make like an in-between then.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, no, I like this. Those are the only similarities I see, because there's no rats in this game, which is interesting.
No, yeah, there's no threats at all. There's nothing you have to really mitigate, right?
Yeah, there's nothing you have to mitigate or worry about in this game. There's nothing that takes away points. You just really have to be certain to watch the other player, watch how fast they're going up, see what they're building. So the cows, for example, you were taking the cows and there was farmland with 4 cows and you would have got, let's see, because your board's still up, so there's 6, 8, and then 4, so, I don't know, 14 points with just that alone. But I took your cows, so then you couldn't do that. In this game, Castles of Burgundy, you definitely have to watch the other player, because if you don't watch them, there's a high possibility of them finishing regions really quick or grabbing items that you want that would help you, but...
Yeah, I mean, the cow example is perfect, because I really needed that, and I would have gotten so many points.
Yes.
And you were the starting player, and you grabbed that as your first turn.
I saw it.
I was so frustrated. Like, how could you do this to me?
Yeah.
I needed those cows.
I do like that there's so many controllable aspects in this game, too. For example, if you aren't elected as player one chosen randomly, you can still become player 1 by laying down a harbor. Like
True.
A ship. Mm-hmm.
I think being player 1 is really powerful in this game, especially if you can end a round being player 1, so you go into the next one having everything available to you. You can pick whatever you want. Mm-hmm. Which you always get those mines.
Because you explained it to me, so they gave me silver, and silver allows me to buy from the middle. So yeah, of course I'm going to collect the mines.
That was funny. You took that little bit of information and you really ran with it.
I did.
Like, I don't know why these will be helpful. I just know that Dave really wants them, so I'm going to take them.
I remember when I was starting maybe like the 3rd round in.
Yeah.
And I went to grab the mine. You're like, of course.
Of course.
Julie's opening move.
And then it was almost like this meta experience where when I get frustrated about something, you know that you're doing something right.
No, I am excited. I am excited for this 10 by 10. I know I lost, but this is just my training round. And I'm ready I'm ready.
You're ready.
I'm ready. That's all I can say is that I'm ready.
I'm excited. I'm kind of scared.
You should be. Especially because this is my learning round and I only lost by 3.
I know.
That's a learning round.
That's a learning I wonder how many times I've played this, because I haven't always logged my plays online. But dozens, I would imagine. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, so far, and this is only so far. This is only one play. But it is, my favorite games would be between Castles of Burgundy and Bruges that you've showed me so far.
Okay, so between this and Bruges?
Yep, between this and Bruges are my favorite games so far.
We'll see which one becomes your
excited.
favorite. Well, should we jump into our next 9 rounds?
We're going to hit the ground running on
Probably
this.
in one evening, we'll see.
Oh, for sure. Because I'm going to get on a win streak, and then I'm going to be like, Dave, let's go. Let's go.
Awesome.
And we are back after our 10 rounds of Castles of Burgundy. And I'm laughing because that was quite the journey. Between Lupin wanting to join in with us and me accidentally dropping one of the dice into some chip dip. It was a journey.
It was a whole journey.
When I just remember so vividly, I dropped it in on accident and I stared at you like, oh, because I was trying to drop the dice into the tower that we had, like the little dice tower and it hit the side to where the spinach dip was, and then ploop, it goes in, and I was staring at you like, oh no, is he ever going to want to play games with me ever again?
I will say, if it was anybody else, I probably would have been more agitated.
I watched it.
There's nothing that irritates me more than food at the table with crumbs and
I watched
Cheeto dust on your hands and stuff. But we ate snacks. It was fine.
Yeah, we had pretzels and dip.
Pretzels are a good board game snack, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really get as much of the dust on your hands. You can touch the components easily.
Because it's like salt, So it was just the dip that was detrimental. I'm so sorry. But
wow. This game is intense.
I'm shocked. Well, I'm not shocked because I really tried my hardest to come out on top. But I'm shocked at... And please don't take this wrong. But, well, I guess, as you said, that you're undefeated again. But it was really hard winning because I really had to keep up with you and I really had to plan each move as if it was the last round to make sure that I could optimize all the points I could. And especially in the first rounds, I noticed that you tried optimizing as many points as possible because in round 1, also known as A on the Castles of Burgundy board game, it was 10 extra points for any point that you gathered when completing a little region. So if you had 1 tile in that region, you got 1 extra point on top of the 10, and it looked like you were trying to do the ones that kind of had the most. So it looked like you were going for the 2, so you get 3 extra points on top of the 10, or you would try to get 3, so you get 6 extra points on top of the 10, and you would really move up. And I was always sweating in the first rounds because you were way on the other side of the board and I was sitting there with 5 points. But then towards the end, I would start to catch up to you. Why? I don't know. But I think it's because I would go on the regions that had a lot. So then when you were at 55 and I was at 5, I was getting 21 points in addition to whatever round we were on.
Yeah, and I don't know. I've played the game both styles, where I race for the really small regions at the beginning of the game to go higher up because they're worth more toward the beginning. And I've also played where I play the long game, where I'm trying to fill in the big regions. I don't know what's better. And I think that's the cool thing about the game is you can approach it in so many different ways. But historically speaking, when I've played the game against other people in the past, I've played it to where my score marker is further back. And I creep up slowly and slowly. And then the last round, I make these huge moves. And that's when I win the game. But when I played against you, it didn't feel like that was as easy to do. Because you were also doing the same things as I was. And you were making these really big moves toward the end as well. And moving up. And our scores were really similar in most of the games that we played, where we were like at most 10 points apart.
Like we were always on top of each other or always within sight of one another. And I started to laugh as we got more into the rounds of our 10 games when you would say, oh, that's such a Julie move. How did you get 5 all the time? Because every time I would grab the mine, I would always have
every
the
single
mines.
time.
Every time.
I just gave up on the mines, honestly.
You did,
Every game we played, I just stopped trying, but I found other ways to get silver. Like, there were some of the yellow science tokens that would give you extra silvers when you did certain things like trade in a die, or would give you extra silvers if you had a mine. So I found ways to get silver to be able to buy some of those black market tiles in the middle of the board, and that worked for me. But I just feel like I had to watch you really closely, and the games of this felt so much more intense than any time I've ever played this game. Like, we were pretty much silent the whole time we were playing, from the opening move to the very finished endgame scoring.
Yeah.
It was a nail biter.
There was this one time, though, when I put on really distracting music to you, I guess, where I was like singing along and I was really aggressive. And the board I had 8 tiles together, so I ended up getting the 36 pointer more towards the end, and that was the round that I ended with 230. So it was interesting.
That was your high score, by the way, 230. And you still... Do we talk about the end result?
Yes, let's talk about the end result.
Because you got the highest score out of both of us at 230. My best score was 206.
Yes, and I won 6 rounds. You won 4.
Yeah. So you beat me by 2 within 10 rounds, which means that you are...
It's a true win.
You are the champion. And I am so impressed because I think this game, it seems easy at first. You think I just have to grab tiles and throw them on my board. But there's so much planning that goes into optimizing your turns. Because the way I look at it is every single turn can be distilled down to valuing it at a certain number of points.
Yes.
Because you can literally trade in a die for 2 of these tiles that plus or minus your die by 1. At the end of the game, that's worth 1 point. So if you are making less than 1 point per move, you're being suboptimal. So, and then finding a way to get bonus moves is
that was
huge.
My favorite.
Whether it's using the silvers to purchase an extra tile for the middle, or using one of the city tiles to place additional tiles on the board or grab ones, or you use the yellow tiles that let you plus or minus dice for free. Like, you just have to really try to be efficient in this game to try to fill in your board. I don't even know if it's possible to completely fill it in all the way. I would love to meet the person who's been able to make that happen.
Shake their hand.
I got kind of close. I mean, there were a few rounds where I had not that many open spaces, but wow.
Yeah, I think that this game, for playability, you could replay it multiple times because there's different playing boards, and even when you're playing with the same person, they might be grabbing different tiles because they want to try something different. Unless, I go first, then I'm going to get the mine. But
yeah,
I'll find a way to do it. This really felt like a different play style every time, minus my opening move of always getting the mine.
Yeah, do you think that your perspective changed over the course of 10 games? Like, were there aspects of the game that stood out to you toward our final plays that you didn't really notice in the beginning?
Yeah, so when I first started, I obviously did the mines, and then I also tried to get the castles all the time, the green tile, to allow you to use it like another dice.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the best move, because then I could literally do that, like either grab something off the playing board or move something from my waiting tiles onto my playmat. And I came to find out that wasn't the best strategy for me, that I should do the village houses more and optimize on using their bonuses. Because so maybe the green is the rats. It's sent to distract you because it's such a good bonus. But in reality, if you can chain the other ones, it's better.
Yeah, but it's so nice when you get those, because usually those castle tiles are on their own too, so you'll score the regional bonus for completing the region, and then it gives you a bonus action. When I've been able to use them, they're exciting. But then also, if you get all 4 of them, you complete all of them, you get that bonus tile that gives you 5 extra points as well.
Yeah, and I remember in the earlier games too, like the first 3 rounds, I wanted to really fill the water, and then I got away from that and used it more so to get, starting player. So I would, if you decided to get starting player, or if you were first player, then I would try to get the harbor to then become the first player, so then I could always get my mines.
That was funny to watch, because I'd look at your board and see when you grab those
you were watching
those ship
me?
tiles, because I would also be trying to move at the turnover track, but I thought if I play this first, I'll move ahead of her token by 1, but then she'll place hers and then she can move hers up. So if I let her go first, then I can play mine and then still be starting player.
Yeah. And then when you brought in those other cards, those additional cards that had the path, and I said, yes, the journey begins.
The fellowship.
The fellowship. Because you always somehow were so much better at those cards, and those were the games that you usually had an easier time beating me at, because they had special bonuses. That
was my distraction, though, when you think about
it.
I would get so distracted by needing to get the right tiles in order to get those bonuses when I could have been doing other things.
It drove me batty, because I was doing so good. I had a bit of a win streak.
Yeah.
And then you pulled those cards out, and you were really using those to get the bonuses, to move up, to get points, to use another tile. And I was just like, let's go back to the normal game, because the fellowship's not doing it for me.
I think the first time we used it, I won, and then the next time we did it, you won.
The third time.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I was like, you know what? I'm going to be you.
What is it about games with bonuses and tracks that just really draws me in? Yeah, it distracts me.
I think it's those little hits of points.
Yeah.
Because you get those rewards, so you are excited because whatever move you make, it gets a reward. While when you're trying to fill in a region, you have to wait maybe 3 or plus tiles before you get that reward.
And I think that's a good point, but I think it's something that this designer does really well, is he constantly makes you feel rewarded for things that you do throughout the game. So you may not necessarily know if you're winning, but every turn feels good.
It does.
Like you're making progress, you're filling things in, you're getting bonus points, you are doing bonus actions, and it just makes it feel exciting. It keeps you engaged, I think. Gives you the ray of hope, the ray of sunshine that you may just be able to pull off what you're trying to do.
Yes, I think so too. And I think Lupin likes it too, because, he wanted to join and now he was meowing in the background.
He knows that we're recording. So.
I know, he's like,
guys, I'm here.
He's like, I'm here, I like the game, I want to put my 2 cents in. And we're like, okay, you can. So.
He's like, I give this game 2 paws way up.
He raises like the litter box roof.
Yeah.
He's like, whoop, whoop. But, wow, I see why you like this game. I really do. There's so many aspects of it that keep you wanting more and keep you wanting to come back, because you want to try so many different strategies in Castles of Burgundy and especially with the mat changing, because when you played the first mat with me, it really did feel as if you continuously played that before, but then when we switched it up, I felt like I had a better chance.
Yeah, do you think each one felt a lot different, or do they feel pretty similar? Do you think that each one made you change your strategy?
Yes, 100%. I definitely feel that way, because the round that I scored the highest in, that mat to me was the easiest. But then when we changed mats up, I got a little confused, or it just wasn't something that I was feeling. So I really do feel that if you play through all the mats, there is a mat that you resonate with, and then you can score higher. And then that's the good thing about having Castles of Burgundy in a 10 by 10 challenge, is that you can play it 10 times and then pick the different mats and see what mat works for you.
That's I love what you just said, because I think the whole reason for playing a game at least 10 times is having a chance to fully explore everything within the box. And I think Castles of Burgundy is the perfect example of a game that works so well in this format, because at first glance, you play with that starting player mat and you think, oh, this is a great game, like there's a lot going on here. And then you play with other ones and you explore different strategies and find things that work for you, and you have really exciting moments as you explore the game within those 10 rounds. So it's a lot different. I think throughout my board gaming hobby, that's been potentially a negative aspect about playing games is I got to know plenty of people that had board gaming as a hobby, and we get together and play games, and everybody brought games that they were hoping to play, and we would play a game once, learn the game, and then we'd move on to the next. And then maybe a few months later we'd play it again, but never really had a chance to just sit and dive in as deep as I wanted to within a certain game.
Well, yeah, that's a good point too. Like overall, when you initially told me about this whole 10 by 10 challenge where you pick 10 games and you play them 10 times, I looked at you and I thought, what in the world? Like, how are we going to do that? And then when we were playing some of the games, I thought, oh, okay, yeah, this isn't that bad, especially our season 1. Like, we got through those games pretty quick. With this season, though, I appreciate that you're picking bigger games, and it is a challenge within a challenge. So there's the challenge of completing 10 different games 10 separate times, but then it adds on the additional challenge of trying to keep with pace.
Yeah.
So it's
with our release schedule.
Yeah. So it's nice because in a way it kind of motivates us to play a game 10 times and see if we still like it, or if it's something we're still interested in, if there's something we noticed or caught. And I think a good example of that is Carcassonne. Like, when I initially played it, I stared at you and I was just like, why do you like this? And then we played it again and again and again and again, and then I learned to appreciate it, and recently we brought it back and I loved it. So
yeah,
I feel like it really works. And overall, Castles of Burgundy is one that I really do want to return to, because even after 10 plays, there's so many other things that I still want to try. Like, I really want to try to do all the farming, because I haven't done any of the farms.
I've never been quite good at that.
But I feel like those are really good, because you get points on top of the animals. Like, when you lay an animal down, you get the points there, and then you get points for completing that specific region.
I've wanted to get a big region full of the same animal.
Yes, do you see all my chickens?
I want to pull that up.
Look at them. They're so
how about
cute.
you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 chickens in one field.
Poos.
But I love that each time you place one of the animal tiles in the field, you get points for that one, plus any animals that match it. You get to rescore them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I love it because it's like farm themed, right? So
we have some farming coming up in this list.
Let me tell you, my favorite chicken, I named her Chicopatra.
Chicopatra?
I named her Chicopatra. My friend was just like, that is the best name I have ever heard. And I was like, yes. And she had a whole Cleopatra attitude, so that's why her name was Chicopatra.
How does a chicken have a Cleopatra attitude?
You've never met hens before?
Yeah.
Oh, they are so sassy. So
this is a whole side quest that I really want to dig into a little bit more.
Farm games are going to be my game. I know that this isn't a farming game, but, because it had some fields, I resonated with it well.
Well, we definitely have one coming up that I think you're going to like quite a bit based on some of those comments. We'll see.
I can't wait. So thank you so much for showing me Castles of Burgundy, and thank you so much for staying up late with me some of those nights to get through some of these plays.
Yeah, and I assume this is a keep it to play.
Oh, this is for sure a keep it to play. It's a heavier game, but it is keep it to play.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited that we don't have to trade this away, because I don't know if I would have let you.
You would have cried a bit.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course. And thank you for joining us this week on this journey through the beautiful landscapes of Burgundy. May your dice rolls always be in your favor, and may your castle stand tall and proud. Until next time, keep strategizing and building your empire.